What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. Last video we looked at sealed product in February 2025. Today we're looking at singles. And here's the thing. Prismatic Evolutions is ridiculously expensive. Everyone knows it. And more things are getting expensive. Surging Sparks is still expensive. Twilight Masquerade is still expensive. All the things are still expensive, basically. But here's what's happening is that people have clearly proven that they're willing to spend the money on Prismatic Evolution to chase the Umbreon, a $1,500+ card. But there's so many cards, as we'll see in Prismatic, that are worth the chase. But if you can't afford it, well, then your money starts to go to somewhere else. It's not like you just leave the hobby. It's not like the average collector or investor or people who like Pokemon leave the hobby. Their money is going somewhere else. There's some illustration rares, which is seemingly the new play. Illustration rares across the board are doing really well, and people are just looking for ways to put their money into their collection still. Let's take a look at the market for some singles in February 2025. All right, starting off with Prismatic Evolutions, I chose all the cards that are worth $100 or more, starting with Sylveon Master Ball, $101. I wouldn't mind the charts too much because this set has literally not been out for a month yet, and pre-release prices are always kind of wicked and crazy, so just look at the price. I included all the information anyways, but look at the price. The Pikachu EX Hyper Rare card, $105, so that's a nice pull. I've pulled that one a couple times out of ETBs. Raging Bolt has done extremely well. It started at 68. Now it's at 115, so people are liking this card a lot. Dragapult, people are liking this card. It's up to 131. Roaring Moon, people are liking this card, even though this card was very expensive to start. Now it's at $173 in the marketplace. Ceruledge, I haven't pulled this card or seen this card in English yet, but my goodness, this card is sick in Japanese Terrestrial Festival. So good. Currently 176. I mean, it's a banger card, I'm going to be honest with you. The Eevee EX Special Illustration Rare up to 229. The Jolteon EX, thankfully this one is on the rise because this is the one I pulled for myself. This is probably one of my least favorite of the evolutions, honestly, but that's just a personal preference. This one's up to 257. Flareon up to 277. Vaporeon 308. Glaceon 312, so lots of these in that like $250, $300 range. The Umbreon Master Ball, I didn't know where this one was going to sit. I actually thought it was going to be a little bit higher than this, but now it's at $350 roughly. The Leafeon 362, Espeon 383, Sylveon 512. This one is a little bit surprising seeing the graph going down so much, but just take that with a grain of salt. This card is still a $500 card out of the gate. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and it is an absolutely gorgeous card. And of course, this card is going to define the Scarlet and Violet era, in my opinion. There's a few of them out there already. I saw that Pokeoz made a video of like 6 cards that could define Scarlet and Violet era. I haven't watched it yet, but this has got to be the top of the list, right? Has to be. $1,589 for the Umbreon EX. Love that card. Pulled 2 of them. What? Surging Sparks, Latios kind of just holding in that middle of the 40s. Lycia's Appeal, it started off high when this set first came out, and now it's been a $50 or $60 card ever since. Alolan Executor, remember some of these cards from Surging Sparks really rose in price. Kind of in December there, that's when this happened. This one went upwards of $110, I think was its high. Now it's right back down to $61.94. The Hydreigon as well went up to $110, $115-ish dollars, and then now it's back down to $82.66. Still a really cool card. One of the ones I haven't pulled from Surging Sparks yet, which I would like to, but it felt overpriced for sure. The Pikachu EX, another one that did that big rise early in December of 2024, went up to almost $200. I actually had a copy of this card during this time, and I tried to sell it on Facebook groups and in Marketplace and on my website for that big ticket price. People weren't interested. Like, I think people saw that this card was going to come down, but still, it's a $123 card. This card is still really sick. Just was a little bit too high. The Melodic is doing really well and is holding really well. It's up to $142. That's exciting. The Latias EX up to $252 and holding there for the last 2 months. Ever since December, it's kind of been above that $200 in the $250 range. And Pikachu we all knew that it went way sky high early on in that like opening week of Surging Sparks. Then it came back down, and now it's holding strong, $450 to $500 in that general vicinity. This card, another one that could really define Scarlet and Violet era so far. Even though lots of people say that they don't like the Booty Chew, I mean, it is just a huge pull in Surging Sparks. Then on to Stellar Crown. Only 3 cards to talk about in this set, but they're all doing really well. And here's the thing about Stellar Crown. Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Terapagos are hard to find, good quality control, good centering, especially the illustration rares. Bulbasaur and Squirtle are really, really hard to find a clean copy. Bulbasaur up to 67, almost $68. Squirtle doing really good, up 83.6% to $80. So pretty nice. Stellar Crown is a fun set to open. I like it. We've been opening it a little bit on the live stream lately. Of course, we have the Terapagos EX Special Illustration Rare, $85. This one was $100 when it first came out, and I could see it being like in that $85, $90 range moving forward. It's a good card. Shrouded Fable, everyone still hates it. False. People are starting to like it because the prices are starting to go up, right? So the Cresselia, up to $32, a 345% gain on your money. This is what I'm talking about. If you can't afford the most expensive sets right now, then people's collection dollars are going towards other things, and some beautiful illustration rares are in Shrouded Fable. Hence, we're seeing the price increases. The Dusk Noir up to $33.35. Cassiopeia, this card not doing good. $46.59. Remember when this was a really big card? It was like right around that $100 mark when the set first came out. Well, it's just been trending down, 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 and more down. I actually really like the card. I like having the Sylveon in the background. I don't know. I like the card a lot. There's 2 of them available on the Pokemon, or the PokeOffice.com, on the PokeOffice.com. Duskull doing good, $49.36. That's a double of the money in the last 3 months. Pheasantipity, here's the problem with Shrouded Fable, right, is the special illustration rares kind of lackluster compared to the illustration rares, which are absolutely gorgeous. Houndoom doing really well, 132% increase, and it's up to $51.52. The Earthen Vessel, this is the best part about this presentation. Earthen Vessel is no longer the top set in Shrouded Fable, so now Shrouded Fable is awesome. Just kind of kidding. I actually do think the set is way better than people gave it credit for. I still don't think it's great, though. Earthen Vessel, $60, just kind of holding there, and then the Persian, absolutely gone wild, $74.96. Quick little side note. We talked on the live stream last week with Mimic Brew, Rock Sandy, Rob Does Pokemon, and Mimic Brew and Rock Sandy were talking about how this is really market manipulation. And say what you want. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you, but Rock Sandy was saying, like, all it takes is for someone to buy a few of these cards to get the ball rolling, and then people start to FOMO out, people start to see the price increase, and then it just kind of drives the behavior. I don't particularly think that's market manipulation. I legitimately think that there's more people who want these good cards, who maybe can't afford Prismatic Evolution, who maybe can't afford a $300 Surging Sparks booster box, but they can afford some of these gorgeous illustration rares to add to their binders. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and while you're at it, if you like the content, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Back to the presentation. All right, we're on to Twilight Masquerade. Carmine actually just holding right around that $70 mark, but Perrin is cruising for a bruising up to $75 and now ahead of the Carmine, which didn't look like that was ever going to happen. Eevee also cruising for a bruising. What a gorgeous card this is. We pulled it on the live stream last weekend. Really, really exciting. Up to $104. So another illustration rare that is greater than $100. There's a few of them. It's exciting times. Greninja, obviously, another one of those cards that is going to define Scarlet and Violet era for sure. Up to $332. Not a ton of change over the last 3 months on this one. Then we're into Temporal Forces. Ghastly also doing good. Not $100, but $51. Pretty solid. Nice gain. Gouging Fire is doing okay, up to $50. Walking Wake up to $60. Iron Crown up to $60. Raging Bolt up to $100 again. This one has a nice trend line up over the last 3 months, and it is a really good card. I'm going to be honest with you. Paldean Fates, this is wild to me. Gardevoir, an absolutely gorgeous card, up to $79. That one's fine. Look at that trend line. It's beautiful. Beautiful stuff. But here's the ones that are mind-blowing. Charizard up to $217. it was a $110 card. Really not, it doesn't feel that long ago. Now it's $217. And now this Bubble Mew, it cannot be stopped. What is this? $421 market price for the Bubble Mew. It's 144% gain over the last 3 months. Wild, wild stuff. Paradox Rift, the Altaria, doing really good. Has more than doubled over the last 3 months, up to $58. Roaring Moon really has just held its own, not done too much of anything. Though this, if you were paying attention to any videos on the YouTube, there was a little bit of a buyout. It dropped all the way down. I think they had Roaring Moon drop down to like $18 to $20, but it just shot right back up. So that was some form of manipulation for sure. And then the Groudon. Remember what I just said about illustration rares peaking above $100? Groudon is currently above $100, which is ridiculous, but it is a great card. Now we're into 151, everyone's favorite set, right? Venusaur doing well, $83. Blastoise doing well, $85. Remember when those were like $45, $50? For a long, long time you could get them. So they've had nice increases. Charizard doing extremely well as well, up to $245. Now we're into Obsidian Flames, which we had the most crazy thing on the live stream last week. I pulled 2 Charizard special illustration rares out of 18 packs in the pack battle. Oof, it was crazy. Gloom doing really well. This is the thing. Here's those collection dollars yet again going to really awesome artworks, really awesome cards that make your binder look absolutely brilliant, and it's driving the prices up of even some of the lower illustration rares. Gloom up to $14.34. Cleffa up to $25.21. That's almost a 3 times gain. Ninetales up to $27. That's more than a double. Charizard up to $71.22. So even Charizard, it was in the toilet for such a long time, under $50. Now it's back up to above $70. It's a 30% gain over the last 3 months. Now Paldea Evolved, Mousehold, $31, so more than double. Meryl up to $32, which is more than a double in the last 3 months. Tyranitar, not doubled, but that had its time a couple months ago. This one's holding strong at $45. Raichu continuing to increase up to $56.65. The Iono also starting to increase up to $64.55. Magikarp continues to cruise. $234 for this Magikarp. We cannot pull this card on the live stream. So many fishing opportunities, and we will continue to fish until we catch that stupid Magikarp. Goodness sakes. Like, old rods are supposed to only catch Magikarps, but they don't work. Last but not least, we have Scarlet and Violet base set. Slowpoke doing really good, more than doubled over the last 3 months, up to $23. Miraidon, special illustration rare, up 59% to $24. Riolu, almost tripled, up to $27. Kirlia, more than doubled, up to $27. Ralts almost doubled, up to $31. Drowsy has doubled and a half, up to $32. People are finally recognizing how interesting and how cool some of the artwork is in some of the earlier sets of Scarlet and Violet era, and it's warranted for sure. Artwork is absolutely spectacular. Miriam starting to do quite well as well. That's not the right number, clearly. I don't know why it says 813%, but it has almost doubled. It's up like 81%. Last but not least, we have the Gardevoir up 79% to $51.70, which it's nice to see that Scarlet and Violet base set is getting some love, because there is actually some really, really great cards in the set. So there you have it. That's kind of the quick market update. We went through right quick all of Scarlet and Violet era. Saw some defining cards, saw some movement in the illustration rares, and some huge cards that continue to just pressure cook, like the Bubble Mew, like the Groudon, like the Magikarp. It's really, really interesting how hype Pokemon is right now. If you like the content, once again, make sure to subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on, hit the like button, leave a comment. Appreciate y'all, and we'll be back soon with another video. Until then, peace!